This morning, Salt Lake City residents are back in their apartments after a massive gas leak forced them out of their houses overnight. A man is being praised as a hero for stopping a potential active shooter in Heber City. 2 News this morning asking questions about how prepared Salt Lake Valley is to respond to a mass shooting. For the first time since Saturday's El Paso shooting, we are hearing from the victims recovering in the hospital. Officials are now reminding drone pilots do not fly near active wildfires. This is after an intrusion in Utah County.
Up and down and up and down.
That's kind of like our weather now. We
It
were
is
up
kind of
yesterday,
like
down today.
Yep.
Burger lovers across the Wasatch Front now have a new place to dine. Jill, I was up in Monte Cristo and I couldn't believe how much snow there was still. There was a good 2 feet up there.
Yeah.
A Great Dane in Arizona just set a new American record. The 4-year-old animal just gave birth to 19 puppies. If you're heading outdoors today, you're going to definitely want to grab some sunscreen. There's going to be a lot of events going on outdoors, and we're going to check in with Jill right now.
Live from downtown Salt Lake City, this is 2 News at noon.
Welcome to 2 News at noon. Within the last 2 hours, police released new information in a double murder case out of Orem. Yesterday, Christopher Polson pleaded guilty to killing his girlfriend and her 3-year-old son.
But police say their bodies are still nowhere to be found. Morgan Saxton in Orem with the details.
I want to check in with meteorologist Lindsay Storrs now for a look at our weather. A lot of clouds out there.
Yeah, much different than yesterday.
Yes, very different.
Just in the last hour, Salt Lake City Fire responded to a grass fire at 1000 South and 500 West. They say they had it under control pretty quickly. Investigators are now working to determine the cause of the fire. And right now there are 17 uncontained wildfires burning in Utah. Yeah. Cleanup crews are combing through what remains of a Salt Lake City home after a fire tore through it overnight. Officials say the debris inside of an abandoned home made it difficult to fight the fire. Neighbors say they've had a problem with homeless people in that area, and some believe they may have started that fire. Investigators are still looking for that cause, though. Investigators are still working through to find the cause of a house fire overnight. It happened at a duplex at 1583 West in Murray, and that's at Taylorsville Road. Both people inside got out before firefighters arrived. Firefighters were able to get that fire out quickly, and the cause is under investigation. President Trump met with protests in Dayton, Ohio today. He visited the city after this weekend's mass shooting killed 9 people there. Right now, he is heading to El Paso, but people in both cities are questioning if the president should fill his role as comforter-in-chief. For the first time since Saturday's El Paso shooting, we are hearing from the victims recovering in the hospital.
Octavio Lizarde was...
An early morning house explosion in Sterling, Ohio is being investigated as a hate crime. The blast happened around 1 in the morning. Fire officials believe it was intentionally set because there was no electricity or gas to the home. Police say a swastika and racial slurs were spray painted on the garage, and racial slurs were also spray painted on neighbors' vehicles. Police in Texas are apologizing after mounted police officers led a handcuffed man down a street with a rope. A video of Saturday's incident went viral, causing backlash by civil rights leaders and people on social media. The Galveston police chief in turn called the treatment an unnecessary embarrassment. He added the officers had no malicious intent. The chief also says the department has already changed its policy on using the technique. The Boy Scouts of America says it has referred about 120 allegations of abuse by Boy Scout leaders to law enforcement for investigation. The youth organization says it's working to identify more possible perpetrators. The statement came a day after a lawsuit was filed accusing a Pennsylvania Scout leader of sexually abusing a Scout during the 70s. The group says it has been contacted by approximately 800 men over the last 6 months with credible allegations. Wendover police arrests 2 people from Salt Lake City for drug possession. 35-year-old Kelly Shepard also had a $50,000 warrant for her arrest for probation violation. Police say she and 52-year-old Joseph Ariano were both booked in jail after officers found meth and drug paraphernalia in their motel room.
Just another summer construction obstacle.
Yes, exactly.
Got a lot
There's
of them, don't we?
a lot.
Well, St. George ranks at the top of U.S. cities for job growth over the last 5 years. That's according to an online financial magazine.
24/7 Wall Street says between May 2014 and May 2019, St. George job growth was more than 25%. The state continued to see job growth in June and July, That's according to Utah Department of Workforce Services. While there has been employment gain across the board, a majority of those gains, according to 27th Wall Street, have occurred in the trade, transportation, and utility industries.
Utah's a leader in a lot of those kinds of areas, aren't they? Okay, still to come here on 2 News at Noon.
Yeah.
Up and down and up and down.
That's kind of like our weather now. We
It
were
is
up
kind of
yesterday,
like, I know.
down today.
Yep, 102 yesterday. Today we're only in the 80s, mid-80s
Which is
right now.
nice.
Yes.
Feels good.
And we've got all the cloud cover out there and a few.
That's the first appearance of an 8 I've seen for a while.
Pretty nice, huh? We're starting that downward trend.
That time of year, huh?
Yep.
Okay, it's time for some pizza. Summertime pizza.
Summertime pizzas, because let's be honest, guys, I love pizzas. I know you do
We all
too.
do, yeah.
Yes, but I do not like warming up the house when you have to turn on that oven.
Right.
So I've got
Especially
a
when
great,
it's hot.
yes, well, especially when it's hot in the summer. So she's up, and just how beautiful and delicious pizzas can be.
Yeah, that's a
in the
great
summer.
Summertime
idea.
pizza.
Yeah.
Give that a try.
Yeah. All right, still to come on 2 News at Noon, a vacant house up in flames overnight. What we know about this fire as firefighters search for a cause. And President Trump is visiting 2 communities in mourning after mass shootings over the weekend. We explain why some people believe he should not be making the trips.
Live from downtown Salt Lake City, this is 2 News at Noon.
Welcome back. President Trump meets with victims and first responders in Dayton, Ohio and El Paso, Texas today, the sites of this weekend's 2 mass shootings that killed 31 people and wounded dozens more.
But his visits do not come without controversy. Hillary Lane is in El Paso, Texas with the latest.
Want to get a check on the weather once again?
Yeah, it's definitely cooled off a little bit out there since yesterday.
Yes, it has. That's for.
Right now, there are 17 uncontained wildfires burning in Utah. 7 of them are in Box Elder County. A Utah County man enters a plea deal in a 4-year-old double murder case and cover-up. Christopher Paulson pleaded guilty to murder and manslaughter. That's in connection to the deaths of his girlfriend, Emily Almiron, and her 3-year-old son, Gabriel Almiron. Officials say Paulson is now cooperating in the search for their bodies. He will be sentenced in September. A man is being praised as a hero for stopping a potential active shooter in Heber City and is now calling for changes to be made at stores selling guns. Police say a convicted felon named Jose Sosa asked to see a gun at the counter of Sportsman Warehouse. He also had ammo in his pockets and started loading the gun. That's when the clerk yelled for help and a bystander took him down. Last night they were honored for their actions. A third bystander that helped asked not to be included in last night's awards. The ATF is now investigating, and Sosa could face federal firearm charges. Thousands of people pass through Union Station in Los Angeles every day, but now it's at the center of the latest measles exposure.
Officials say an infected person.
The drug naloxone has helped thousands of overdose victims, but despite its life-saving success, researchers at the CDC believe the drug is underused. They say the number of prescriptions written for it has not kept with the pace with the steep rise in the opioid abuse in the U.S. A new study suggests you might be able to lower your risk of breast cancer by eating less red meat and more chicken. An analysis of more than 42,000 women found those who ate the most red meat were at the most risk for developing the disease. Those who ate the most poultry had the lowest risk of developing invasive breast cancer.
And if you're a little squeamish, this might not be the story for you.
Crews in New York City removed 25,000 bees from a Staten Island ferry terminal. Wow, those all were hanging out under an awning. Check that out. The bees were safely relocated by the NYPD's beekeeping department. I wouldn't want that assignment, that's for sure.
Yeah, and as a police officer, you kind of have to be a jack of all trades.
Yeah,
huh?
exactly. Well, still to come on 2 News at Noon, an unprecedented new rule will soon impact millions of travelers. What common item will soon be off limits for certain passengers?
All right, Chef Brian is finishing up that pizza that won't
Summertime
warm up
pizza.
your
Won't
kitchen
warm up
or
the
burn
house.
down the house.
Yeah.
Well, I can't guarantee that, but I would hope it doesn't. I have to get these great little pizzas.
All right, the controversial question.
Yeah.
Pineapple on pizza.
Oh,
Love
I
it.
love it. Anytime.
Not a fan. All right, well, the unprecedented new rule will soon impact millions of travelers. San Francisco's airport is banning the sale of plastic water bottles.
As Kenneth Craig reports, it is the latest move away from plastic.
Okay, we're split. We're going to ask Lindsay, pineapple on pizza.
No. I don't like it warm. I was just telling these guys, I love
Okay, crazy video from Minnesota shows a semi-truck roll over and crash.
And it stopped just a few feet from a gas station.
Oh, no.
Wow, it happened when the truck came barreling down a hill. The truck's driver said the brakes went out and he swerved to try to avoid traffic, crashing into the intersection. Now, thankfully, no one was hurt, and the driver was able to crawl out of the truck's cab.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah, that could have been a
Really
real
bad.
disaster. Yeah, eye out
So
for it.
Why is he keeping it in his shoebox?
Because that's what guys do. Not smart things.
There you go.
A Washington woman is recovering after an octopus bit her in the face. When she found the little guy, she put it on her chin. That's not smart. Taking a picture. Well, he didn't like that, obviously, and his venomous bite left her bleeding and swollen. But she got the picture, I guess.
Well, that's
Still
the main
not
thing.
smart.
We've learned you don't put money in shoeboxes and you don't put octopi on your face.
That's
Yeah,
what you
exactly.
learned today.
Yeah.